Well, good morning, YouTube. Louie here, and welcome to the weekend. I'm going to do kind of a traditional video today. We're going to start with our tip of the week. We're going to move on to the silver Bitcoin review. I've got that chart updated for you to see how silver is doing in relation to crypto. We're going to talk about Basil a little bit, not Basis. Basil. The Basil, is it blowing up your precious metals portfolio? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Some beautiful new vintage silver pickups. And finally, a word about the U.S. Mint and an opportunity for yet another profit coin that they've created. So let's get on to it, and let's start with the tip of the week. Someone asked recently, why are there pictures of cheerleaders? That's irrelevant. Yes, it is. The tip of the week is ask for a raise. All right. Now, I'm in business, right? And I can't tell you what or how or where, but I have to tell you that the labor market is so tight right now that there are just lots of people not returning, all right? Whether they're in at the lower end of the pay rate because the unemployment has been greater than their pay, whether they're older and they've decided to give up the ghost and retire at 62, or maybe they were over 65 and continuing to work. But a lot of those people are leaving the workforce. This is documented. These numbers are true. And from my perspective, as someone that hires people, anyone who is changing jobs right now is getting a raise. So if you are one of those people that I'm not saying like if you're the person that gets to work late every day, if you're the person who's having lots of drama at work, if you're the person who's been written up, several times and just isn't a good fit in the job you're in, this message is not for you. But if you're a person who is doing your job and excelling and is somewhat indispensable to the company. Maybe you probably have experienced that, the staffing is less than it's been. Maybe you've been pulling more than your weight because they can't hire somebody. Maybe every time they hire somebody, that person is just not all that swift and you wind up doing their job too. Time to ask for a raise. All right. And what's happening is people are doing it all over, and salaries are going up at the low end and the middle, and probably will go up at the high end as well. But, I imagine most people are of modest means. You probably make under $50,000 a year, probably under $25 an hour. Maybe you make minimum wage. You can't hire good people for minimum wage anymore. It just can't be done. So, good time to ask for a raise. You go in, you say to your boss, I'm doing a good job, aren't I? It's been, 19 months since my last raise. By the way, I just went to the market and a pound of hamburger is now $9.95, or whatever example you want to give. But, your cost of living is going up. This is why the government is our enemy, not our friend. They are hurting us. They are not helping us. They'll give you a couple of dollars and then they will increase the cost of living by 50%. So enjoy those stimulus checks, but the results of the inflation are in. They are not transitory. At least the majority of them are not. And, my daughter who works in a larger pet store said, Dad, we just increased the prices again. And I said, didn't you do that last week? And she said, yeah, we did. And then they had me go back and raise all the prices a week later. This is what's happening, and it's not only on the material side, which have taken a break from appreciation here for a while. I'll talk about that later, commodities, but it's on the labor side, and it's on all sides. Prices are going up. We are not entering hyperinflation, but we are entering a serious period of inflation that will make it difficult for you and your family to eat and live and drive and survive. Don't hesitate to ask for a raise in a polite, professional way, and if your boss is paying attention, they'll say, yeah, I know you're right. I just put a new battery in my car and it was $200, or whatever the example might be. They are everywhere. All right. And, if you aren't in a situation where you can ask for a raise, then, don't. All right. Just my thought. And, everybody should be thinking about it. I know I am. All right. I'm asking for a raise, and I don't make minimum wage either. Okay, hold on. All right, the title of this segment is Silver Weak, Bitcoin Weaker. You'll have to recall that, I advised people to get out of Bitcoin when it hit 60,000 and trade into silver. Had you done that, you would still have 100% of your money, more or less. But Bitcoin, as I had said last week, or actually it was 2 weeks ago, we were having a dead cat bounce, and it has proceeded lower. Now it's a little over $30,000. I think that cryptos and Bitcoin in particular, it's going to have a two-handle, and it's going to happen pretty fast here. It may only stay there for a short while. That may be the bottom, but Bitcoin is in a bear market. If you don't recognize it, then you're not paying attention. But will it go below, 29? Will it go below 25? I don't know. I would only direct you back to the silver charts. And when silver hit 50, all right, and then it had a halving, right? It went to $25. A lot of people started buying, and silver did not reach its bottom until I think 14 in the last turn down it had. That was before it went to 12 in the giant market sell-off of about a year ago. But so if you think it can't be cut in half again, no. Even the best investments, and I'm not saying Bitcoin is a good investment. I don't really own it. But even the best investments can be halved, which Bitcoin has been, because of a bubble, and could be halved again. Personally, I think it's going to bounce around the high 20s for a while and then recover. I still like Coinbase better than Bitcoin. I still like Ethereum better than Bitcoin. But again, they are just they're swing trades for me. And I did make some money in that Coinbase investment I told you about a couple of weeks ago, and then I sold it. All right, that's just what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I think Bitcoin's going to go a bit lower. And silver. So silver, had moved back up, to 28. It really looked like it was ready to rock. And then we had a $2 smackdown. I should have noticed it because the volume the day before the smackdown in the SLV was humongous. And I missed it, and I took a loss on my paper silver when they knocked it down the $2. The recovery has been anemic. The down volume has been big, and the recent up volume, 20 cents or whatnot, has been small. That means it could go lower. All right, so we could see 27 on silver. But I think what's happening here is there's a lot of... there are two things. There has been a commodity smackdown, and then there's been this whole Basil III thing. I'll talk about the Basil III thing a little bit later, but you may know that commodities had a three gut punch recently. They continued to reflect the inflation that is real, in my opinion. However, China started dumping copper and made sure they told everybody. The very next day, the Fed came out and started saber rattling, totally impotent saber rattling. But I think people. The people who say they believe that stuff, and the people who report that they believe that stuff, and some of the people in the banks that trade like they believe that stuff, it just wasn't real. All right. And then the very next day, we had one of the Fed presidents come out, and Bullard, I think, came out and say how, we're not going to raise it in 23, we're going to raise it in 22. And then we got another smackdown. Well, anyway, as I indicated last week, that was all BS. The Fed is not raising rates. The Fed is pedal to the metal, debasing the currency. and people have smelled that out. But there will be more stimulus, there will be more quantitative easing, there will be more repo window activity, and there will not be an increase in interest rates in the near term. And that is why the market recovered, because after the shock and all the false information and false reporting, then it totally recovered, and I think will resume their march back up to 2% on the 10-year. Anyway, so all that Fed talk was BS, and the commodity smackdown, pulled everything down with it. But they couldn't pull silver down as much as they pulled down some of the other commodities because it's not up that much. All right. So still, I think, in the 26 range, it's a great buy. You will also notice that with spot coming down a couple of dollars, and I'm not saying it's going to stick right here. We got to talk about Basil. But premiums are coming down too. Did you notice, or are you just still watching old videos that are telling you that premiums are high? Premiums are coming way, way down, and I think that is a result of the U.S. Mint beginning to allocate silver again, perhaps at more reasonable prices. I'm not in the know about that. As I said before, I think the U.S. Mint is responsible for the high premiums because they are the Cadillac product, and when their premiums go sky high and they go on allocation mode, people raise them even more, and then all the elements of the silver chain go up with that. But now with the U.S. Mint promising to supply Type 2 Eagles end of July? Can you believe the incompetence of that organization? End of July? What are they doing? Are they all still on sabbatical? Right? Or are they kicking the machines? They can't get them to work? All the talk about mint to demand is like, what a joke. The U.S. Mint has just flubbed every single thing that they could possibly attempt to do, and then release the lamest excuses you could possibly imagine. But there is a silver lining in all that. But anyway, I think U.S. Mint is selling Eagles again. I would bet that the premiums are coming down on those. The premiums on everything are coming down. You can get generic for under $30. I saw a listing for a large quantity of shot at $28 recently. And you could get Philharmonics, just a little over 30. We may still be a solid $3 over spot, in the generic market. But remember, $3 is about the same percentage over 28 that $1.50 was over 14. And businesses work on margins and percentages, and they don't work on dollar amounts. If that were true, you'd still be tipping a quarter to the waitress after a big meal. No, you tip a percentage. Well, people need to realize that the premiums are a percentage. They are not a single dollar. If you're waiting for $1 premiums to come back, I think you'll be waiting forever, along with that, $2 Big Mac. All right, I'm going to move on. But yeah, cryptos look weak. Silver, not strong, but has not been smacked down like it would have been if there wasn't such tremendous demand for the physical product. Okay, as promised, here's the unboxing. We've got some ingots on this side. We've got some flip material on that side. Let's start off with the flips for those of you that like to do that. All right, this is the first of the chibis, or whatever the hell they call these little stupid things, which I believe are an ounce of silver. Let's see. Which is somewhat irrelevant, I think, to this product. Anyway, I skipped on the Baby Yodas, although some people made a good amount of money on those. But when these came out, I decided I would buy a couple. And this is Stuart, one of the minions from Despicable Me. I really don't like it when they wrap things in plastic, because then I can't take it out and show it to you. Well, maybe I can. You see, people like to, if you're going to flip something, just be aware that people like things in the plastic wrap. It shows that you haven't messed with it. Anyway, I don't think you care that much about seeing the Stuart coin, but there he is, and yeah, I think these are going to do well in the aftermarket. But they were very pricey. I think I paid $120 for this stupid thing. Anyway, so that is just flip material for the store. What do you think about that? All right, and then here is one I can show you. The Simpson line has been one of the most profitable, collector items in my experience in reselling coins. And I don't think Itchy and Scratchy will be any different. Matter of fact, I think if you have a choice between some of the offerings and Itchy and Scratchy, you're gonna definitely want to have Itchy and Scratchy in the pile. Limited mintage is limited on these to. Let me look it up. I don't recall offhand. Whoa, that's a good number, $3.99. I bought these directly from the Perth Mint. Don't be afraid to buy from the Perth Mint. They are, my God, they packaged this thing like Fort Knox. They had straps on it. I did buy more than one. And they got it here quickly. They charged me nothing for shipping from Australia. 5,000 is the mintage on these. And colorized coins are not usually my something that I go for. But there it is. Take it out of there. That looks weird. Why is it all foggy? Huh. Well, that's weird. Oh, you know what? I think it's in here backwards. Because I think the hole should be on the front, don't you? Let's go ahead and pull it out of here. These just rotate off. Those very strong magnets. All right, so there it is. Try to keep my face out of there. I won't linger on this, but these were about $80, and I think come Christmas time, I think they'll be double that. I'm not sure why. Oh, there was a film in there. Yeah, and this one does not look to be the greatest quality. One thing I will tell you about these little capsules here is that they are impossible to get. If you know how to get them, let me know. But if you start messing around, like trying to clean one of these capsules, they are really susceptible to scratching. So I had a problem with some of my donut coins, and I just cannot find replacement donut capsules. Anyway, so there's Itchy and Scratchy. That's flip material. No, I wouldn't sell it today, but I do think come Christmas time, these will fetch a really nice premium. And, 5,000 is not that many. And I do think this is Itchy and Scratchy are keepers. And Perth Mint, if you order fast, which I did on these, you can get some really low numbers. I think I had some donut coins in the 40s, like 40, which really bring a nice premium. So there's a few of those. Now let's get on to the ingots. You probably care about that more. I'm going to move you a little bit. All right, let's get on to the vintage ingots, which is way more fun. Here is the first one, which I've already unboxed for you. This is something I picked up just last week. BNE. All right, what does that stand for? The Bitterroot Nugget Exchange. It's out of Montana. It is a vintage bar, pretty hard to get. It's got a pebble finish, interesting pebble finish, and God, it's in awfully good shape. I always kind of worry about some of these bars when they're so darn clean. And what is this thing on the end here? Well, that's called a pigtail. And they pour these in series, and then they saw them off at the pigtail. So that looks very authentic to me. The Bitterroot Nugget Exchange. Nice. Is that a number on there? What does that say? Oh, ounces, OZS. So 10.02. You got to look up more about that particular mint. All right, let's get another one going here. Some of these little art bars are a lot of fun, but they're commanding huge premiums. So I'm not saying it's a good investment. I'm not saying it's a bad investment, but whoa, boy, some of these are really nice. Why did you tape this, dude? It's not a diamond. Had to tape it shut. Ah, some sellers, man. All right. Again, my lighting. Beautiful nugget. Look at this. Okay, this is the Prospectors. Who makes this? Sorry, I forgot. Mother Lode Mint. Isn't that cool? A beautiful nugget. It was not cheap. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that nice? All right, so that's that one. What did he say? He said it's AC 53, the Prospectors. Well, that's just the name of the bar. Put that back. Wow, that is nice. I like that bar. Okay, let's keep going. And forgive me if I don't tell you which series this came out of, but suffice it to say, it is one of the more collectible ones. Nice one. I'm not going to go crazy collecting the Englehards, because you can just go absolutely berserk and spend, tens of thousands of dollars. But if I see some that are within my budget, I'm definitely going to go for it. There is, and look at that beautiful logo. Again, another one of the rarer bars. It's got the bull. You got the bull stamp right there, and a plain back. Beautiful collectible Engelhard. Let's get on. Here is another one. Oh, I'm not going to pull this one off. And of course, you can tell when you buy something from an old timer, they use these staples. Don't put staples around your coins, guys. Jeez. But there's an old Hoffman and Hoffman round. And there is the reverse, 1 ounce fine silver, 1981. Of course, I'm more looking for bars from the 60s and 70s, but 1981 for a Hoffman and Hoffman. Very nice. Here's one more. I'm losing my battery real quickly, so hold on. I'll show you the big one. Oh, that's nice. This is from my friend, longtime friend, Silver Vessel. And this is the mate to the other Omega Mint bar. He's been collecting these bars for a long time. And people who have done that are doing really quite well. Let me see if I can find the other Omega. There it is. I don't know which one's older. Both beautiful. Quite different bars though, aren't they? Okay, so there we go. Omega Mint. Thank you, Silver Vessel. And the last one before the battery goes dead. Oh, this is my favorite. I hope my battery doesn't go dead. Okay, so this is, I know you're going to Jones for this. This is the Death Valley Mint. All right, number 129. And this is a series. Death Valley Mint did some really irreverent, cutting-edge social commentary. 70s or 80s, I don't recall. No, 1975. So there are several in this series, really valuable little bars. Got a good deal on this one, but I would love the whole series. This one is talking about the FDA and how, here for your health, right? And they have stuff on women's liberation. They have stuff on the military. Oh gosh, I'm blanking. But if you Google up Death Valley Mint, which is a subsidiary of, but this was their edgy little product in the 70s, and really, still rings true today. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Okay, I believe that's everything I have to unbox, and I'll just leave it there. We'll get ready for the next segment. All right, I promised you a little discussion about Basil and Basil III. As you know, these are the requirements that the banks need to maintain to have proper reserves. Yes, it is going into effect by the end of the month in the United States. Earlier for Europe And yes, it requires that their holdings of gold be allocated, that they get a higher weight for allocated as opposed to unallocated gold. There are two lines of thought. One line of thought is that by requiring or by reflecting allocated gold, gold that is yours in the possession of someone else, but they're a fiduciary for you, and it is your gold, and you can get it whenever you want. That carries a higher weight in the reserve calculations than unallocated, which carries a much lower weight. I don't recall what it is. There is one school of thought that says that, well, then they'll all have to change from unallocated to allocated, which means that wherever they have their gold, they'll be asking to do that, and then there will be, a higher demand for physical, because the assumption is the unallocated is rehypothecated out there and doesn't really exist, but the allocated really does exist. I think Perth Mint is proving this with the recent debate going back and forth on whether they actually have everything they say they have. So one line of thought is this would be good for gold, and I guess also for silver as a result, because people will be moving more to allocated, kind of like moving from the SLV ETF into the PSLV, and the Sprott Physical ETF has been, rating bullion all over the world, trying to build up for the purchases that have been made there, as opposed to the SLV, which wink and a nod between JP Morgan and who knows else, and probably doesn't really exist. So the one school of thought is it's a good thing. The other school of thought is that what they really need to do immediately is dispose, divest of their gold and convert that into dollars, which have a 100%, or bonds or something, which would have like a 100% value. And I tend to be in the second camp. I tend to think that the Basil III in short term is negative for the market. However, if you think they waited till the last minute to do this, then that would be crazy. Anything that was going to happen probably already did. I think what we're seeing, also in the gold market for sure, is people and institutions and other investors being nervous about what might happen and waiting for that to pass before they reinvest back in gold and also silver. Gold, I think, is going to find a bottom here real soon, and then you'll never see that bottom again, within a month or so. So could be a brave new world come July. Could be some temporary dislocation for gold or silver. Is Basil III a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I'll leave that for smarter people to figure out. All I know is I think it is creating a disruption in the market. But in the end, requiring banks to have allocated gold is a good thing in my mind. By the way, do you know what rating cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, has in a bank's reserves? I don't even know it's like quadruple F minus or something like that in terms of, if there was an A plus bond, and then there was, other stuff, and then there was state obligations, and then there was, Euro obligations, and then maybe there were Greece obligations, and maybe Zimbabwe. They provide the reserve value of crypto is rated at the lowest possible level, I'm told, and that level assumes a 50% chance of default. Okay, so that's like think Venezuela, or somewhere like that. That is the amount of confidence that the regulators have in the crypto market, and you can see why. I mean, the volatility is off the charts. But think about that for a minute. When you think banks and so forth are getting into crypto, if they care about their reserve requirements, they won't be doing much of it. All right, let's move on. Let's see. Last thing I have for you is the U.S. Mint. And, you've been following the drama. You know, Silver Wolverine talks about it a lot. Son of a Silver Stacker talks about it a lot. The latest change to postpone the Air Force medal, that really cool Air Force medal, the 2.5-ounce Air Force medal. Somewhere in there, they went from unlimited mintage to a mintage of 10,000. I really would like you to keep your eye on that. And maybe you've given up on the mint. You have lots of reasons to. But anything, many of the products that are coming out in the next couple of months will have immediate flip potential. All right. And, if you are looking to make some money, then that's something you can do. If you think flipping is horrible, then fine, you can close your ears right now. But they put the Air Force medal on the chart for me when they established the mintage of 10,000 as opposed to unlimited. There have been medals in the past that had low mintage, and they blew up big in the aftermarket. So keep an eye on that when it does come out. I really like the lower mintages. I still think that the Morgan mintages are way too high, and that's why I call it pump and dump of the century. Anybody out there paying $250, $350 for one of those Morgans will find themselves losing half their money within a year, I think. But am I buying them? Yeah, I'm buying them, and I'm going to keep a set if I can get it, and then I'm going to resell, whatever's extra and put that money back into bullion. But look out for that Air Force medal. I think imposing that limit, that mintage limit, really is going to make that a hot coin. Okay, well, I think that's it for the week. I wish you a very wonderful weekend. I hope the weather isn't too hot for you. I'm going to the county fair, and we'll see what that's like. Nice to start living again, isn't it? Pull that rag off your face and just enjoy the world and everything around you. But be smart, protect yourself, protect your wealth. Don't forget about your silver. Don't get shaken out, whatever might happen as a result of Basil or some other manipulation. It is a great time to be in silver, and I still think we're headed over 30, in the next month or so. But, could be wrong. Never know. But there's nothing wrong with building a nice big stack, because, you don't generally sell your stack. You just keep it, and it's there for you, and then you keep it another year, and you keep it and then one day you wake up and you say, oh, the move happened, and now it's worth more. And that's the advantage of doing this. Before you blow your money on something that is transitory and will be gone or in the goodwill pile in a couple of years, really consider your silver and gold holdings, and be sure to have both. Okay, and are you going to ask for a raise? Hey, if you ask for a raise and you get a raise, please leave a comment if you follow my advice there. If you ask for a raise and you get fired, I don't know what about that one. Okay, bye.